did a webinar with Leo explaining the EU and the U-Swiss. A setup was way more easier on U-Swiss than it was on EU because the traps, they were so obvious. And when we talk about the fractional disparity is not when GU is at the top and EG is at the bottom, or G Swiss is at the bottom. That's not fractional disparity. Fractional disparity, it is when another pair goes, another pair holds. So in this scenario, U Swissy made a trap from yesterday, and then EU, it did not make as clear a pattern as U Swiss. Now looking at U Swiss, I saw that because it starts with U, all the U's will rise, and everything that is cross marked with U, which is Swiss, this means G Swiss, because of it has a Swiss in it, the Swiss and the U, and all the U's, UJ, UCAD, UZAR, everything that starts with U, it will go up, and the GU, it will not do anything. And the other euros, the other G's, the G's won't do anything. So the move was more on the U's than it was on the E's. That's why the time we were looking at it, it was going up, the EU stalled. And the time EU stalled, the U was not even, the U Swissy was not showing any signs of a red bar coming, while EU was doing it. It was pure blue bars up. So a fractional disparity is understanding on which pairs these guys will move and on which these ones will hold. It is not EU is EG is low and G Swiss is high. It's not that. Who is going to hold and who is going to move? And our job is to understand who is easier to see for a setup. Like Sam says right now, he says the U Swissy was kind of in the middle. This setup reminds me of that EG trade I took. It is almost the same thing, but its trap, it was so easy that it was setting up for the other U's to continue going up. It is that easy when you understand what fractional disparity is about. Martin, do you understand, man?
Yeah.
The fractional disparity, it is not EG down and G Swiss up. It is if if EG is making a stop hand high and EU is making a stop hand high, and you see that EG is going down and you see that the G's are not doing anything, the focus will be on the E's because the E's will be moving and the G's will be holding. It is not this, it is not this. This is not fractional disparity. So understanding the mindset of the retail traders through their bars, through their traps. Alright, man, listen. The brain is important. To understand your own setups, it's critical, because if you know your setups and you know a specific set, it's easy for you to pound on it. The thing is, again, Martin was not as confident today. Yes, you saw a setup. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm proud of that. But what did you lack? What did you lack today? If you do your own notes, what would you say you did wrong? If there is something you did wrong.
Maybe I mean I was scared to put more lots because of I don't have more study about Euro USD.
You see,
like on exotics, I mean, I think.
Okay, why did you jump the exotics and then you jumped the G's and you traded the E? How did you end up being over there?
when I today when I start yesterday I did my anticipation on GU and G series and EG, but at morning I saw that GU was halt. They're not doing something, and then I was looking on Euro USD and GNOC, because you last week you trade GNOC with Euro USD. They did opposite but same move, and and I was looking in GNOC, and I open Euro USD, and I saw the setup.
I did not watch, honestly, I did not watch GNOC doing opposite to Euro USD. That's something that you found out. So I would tell you to go do research on the
Yeah,
the correlation of that if this one goes this way, if GNOC makes that, then Euro USD will do this. I have no clue how they link up, so I do not know anything to say about what you are saying as confirmation. I won't say you are wrong, I won't say you are right, I will say I don't know, because you took EU and you were talking about GNOC again. So it's like, okay, is it a good thing to go to my chart and see that if GNOC does this, Euro does this? That can be your edge. That can be something that you can use to know how to trade EU better. But for me, EU was not a setup that way. A setup was on USWISI. So the most continue.
oh yes, I was looking on Euro USD and also with USWC, but USWC was Euro USD was on HOD, but USWC was like on middle, something like on middle.
Leo, do you understand that they are taking the same middle thing? Do you do
I
you get it?
understand that all of us, like, we haven't been programmed to like straightaway trade, so just call it like that.
Yesterday I gave you guys a clue with those charts.
Yeah.
It was a huge clue. I just did not want to be obvious that, look guys, a setup is gonna be on this pair. I was showing you that this is what happening. This is what is constantly happening on the charts, on the markets. These guys, they store. But if you understand what happened yesterday, they made a railroad track, and then they made a railroad track again, and then they made a railroad track. So you have these legs from yesterday. Those are where the traps, because there's no fucking way the market makers can just from yesterday drop, and then for some reason they just issue you those legs. What's that about? So the two scenarios from there was, you either gonna give me a stop hunt low rise, or you're gonna give me a straightaway. That's exactly what I told Leo, and they gave me that straightaway, because it's not just about stop hunt this and stop hunt that. So Sam, I would tell you again, do not handicap your brain. A handicapping of the brain, it is you are enabling your brain to stall and not open up to the information that is right in front of us. Because if we are watching a setup, this, and then he makes that, and then another day he makes this, and then it goes like that. That is something that can actually be the setups that no one outside of this group can kill, can master. They don't know how these setups come about. So where this, to me, I would see that as a gap to study that, instead of saying there was no stop hunt on it, therefore it was not a trade for me.
It goes a bit back to what you said the other day. Like, about the stop hunts. Doesn't mean because there's no visible stop hunt, there is like they're not hitting the stops in a way.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, but for me personally, I would rather trade a HOD trade than a middle trade. Although
Yes,
I still need to do more studies on straightaways, but yeah,
because a trade is on the HOD and this
mm,
one is in the middle does not mean HOD there's a setup there.
yeah,
Because if we are tackling the mindset of us, we know that if the markets they go up, just like yesterday on EU went up and up and up and up and up and up, and I was actually looking for a stop hunt high drop. So I understood that whenever the death was going up and up, death was never hit. Okay, let me try to
yeah.
show
I
it
was
here.
watching the same thing.
Let's watch it. The death was never hit. So because of that, it was a huge clue to stay away from this market. Look at this. Straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. There was, for a setup to be there, I wanted a death to actually cover the entire price now. After it starts to be at the high, it starts to become all over the high's face. And then it ends up being across, and then the price starts to be below. So just like what happened on EU, the death was left alone, but soon as the HOD was hit, the death actually became above the price, and it went across. So that it was a signal for a setup there, but I was waiting for a wider pattern. I was waiting for it to go up again, starts to pin up, and then continue going down. But exactly with that pin with the death, it was that death kiss. It just fucking dropped. Meanwhile, you Swissy just made a beautiful stop hunt. No stop hunt, just made a beautiful rise. So it's about understanding what is going on. Especially if we can count here, we can see that this guy he hit your 50 pips. And if we talk about this is your TP1 and this is your TP2, those are smashed. And you should be done by then. Okay, here's the thing. I was explaining to Leo this morning that we are gonna be misguided if we are only gonna be trading. Okay, this one it hit the low, that one it hit the high, so that's a setup. This one hit the high, this one didn't hit the low, so it's not a setup. That is going to cripple. That's a trading flow, because you are talking about a middle trade, and I look at it as this is close to low while EU actually hit the high. It is not a pure middle trade. It's not as middle as we are talking about. We are saying to ourselves, the market makers, you need to understand that it cannot always be that obvious. It cannot always be this one touches there, this one touches there, so it's a setup. Or that one is at the high and this one is here, so because of that, that is a setup based on that one is at the high. And you neglect the fact that we are not just trading the high and the low. What we are actually trading is price action. Because understanding price action and understanding the retail trader's brain, how they think, we can actually trade at any position. So my thing about this webinar today is I do not want us to kill our mindset. I want us to open our minds, because what we traded today was good. But hearing the explanation that the USBC was in the middle, when it was close to low, that is something that we need to fix, because these are the actual setups that create that continuation up without any notice. Those are the setups that actually go without anyone on board. They kill everyone and no one sees them coming. You understand? So if we cannot understand the mindset of trading, we will always be handicapped in the thoughts of this one is there, then this one is there, so there's a setup. Or this one is there, that one is not there, so there's no setup. That is not an edge. That's not understanding our edge per se, because for us to know the edges where we need to be looking at a setup, we need to understand things on both sides of the spectrum. Same thing as the trading coach is talking about. If you are in this business, you cannot be one-minded. You cannot be, I just want this to happen. I just want this to happen. I just want this to happen. The mindset, it needs to be expanded. It needs to be like, okay, I have these screens. I need to see what's going on. I really need to see if I understand this business, or am I in this business for the setups. So people are in this business for the setups, but not everyone is in the business of really understanding what makes the markets move. So the people who are trading the setups, I guarantee you, they won't make $1 million. Dax is not making, is not just trading setups. Tim Crittani is not trading setups. It's trading the mindset. When you hear the interviews, they talk about, I know where people are trapped. They're not talking about, I know a specific pattern, like Tim Sykes says. They talk about, I know where people, why do they mix people with the charts? Because people are in the charts. When we are waking in the morning, we are looking at the charts. How many millions and billions of people around the globe are watching at these pairs? Billions. So it's only safe to talk about them on the charts than the charts themselves. Does that make sense? So the brain, it needs to be like, okay, I need to see what people will see as a confirmation so that I can counteract their confirmations and actually know that, okay, the market makers are now setting the trap. That's why the EMAs are important. The EMAs show just a glimpse of where people are thinking to do their confirmations. And the more they talk about their confirmations, because they are seeing it, they can physically see it on the charts. Because of that, because of they can see it, the market makers created it. So our job, just like Steve loves to say, is our job is to monitor what they watch, so that we can trade the reactions of the market makers, because the market makers are watching them, meaning us. So the market makers are watching what we do, but we need to watch what the market maker does. We are not just watching the retail traders, we are also watching the market maker watching the retail traders. Oh my God, man. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I need to think about that a little bit.
Do you understand? You are not in this business to just watch the retail traders, because you are talking about the market makers as well with the retail traders, us. So it makes more sense to snipe the market makers' actions, because it's going to trap the retail traders and do the opposite, because he's showing them the, okay, here's the cross of the dragon and the G-spot, right? He is setting it up. He's making that trap for them to see it as a confirmation, and then he is watching. So as soon as people see that cross, they're gonna sell, which is where they're gonna buy. So we need to see him creating the trap. We need to see him creating a trap, because the moment people start to sell, which was his trap, We need to buy with them. Because the retail traders in essence are us. It's only us and the market makers. But when we step outside of that world and understand the business of there is people who are actually making the market, which is the market makers, it's only sensible to step outside of we are just the same as the retail traders. We are stepping outside the realm of that zone to watch the entire business. And what is the entire business? It is the market makers versus us. There is no win-win situation. There has to be a winner and a loser. And for us to understand what's going on the billboards, on the board, we need to know who's making that board. It's the same thing as that Axelrod video where he talks about, I stopped watching the racetrack, I started watching the board. The board is where the big boys are at, the big market controllers. So it doesn't make sense to just watch the retail traders and not watch the market maker, because we know he is right there on the board. When I'm looking at that EMA, my brain, I'm not seeing an EMA. I am seeing them laughing. I don't know, man. It's something that happens. I can see them laughing. I can see them talk about how stupid we are and how crazy they're gonna make money today. I can see themselves giving themselves the high fives. I can see that on the chart. It's like, dude, we trapped them. We trapped them so good today. I can see them. So on the chart, it's like the more I see the EMAs and the confirmation for them, the more I can see the evil in the market makers. Like, oh my God, I'm about to make some money here. I'm just waiting. Let me give them 2 hours to pile in. And then I'm gonna fucking spank them. Hey Johnny, what. They talk about Johnny and you can see that on the chart. It's like, come and look at this, man. Come and look at the pain I'm about to cause. So we need to be watching that and realize that, okay, I know exactly what he's doing. I know exactly what's about to happen, because when I was a retail trader and the books are in line with what I'm seeing, which is they wrote those things. So because they wrote those books, they go against those books. And our job is to watch what they do, so that we can do the opposite of the market, the retail traders, and trade with the market maker. That way,